This is the Lion's Den with Coach Jeff Boschee, Coach Ronnie Ressel, and your host, KSN's Reina Garcia.
Welcome to the Lion's Den. I'm Reina Garcia, and joining me is Missouri Southern head men's basketball coach Jeff Boschee. Now, Coach, thanks for joining me. It was a pretty good week for you guys. Only one game to worry about, and you came out with the win.
Yeah, we had a little bit of time to rest, and we got a few injuries. Just kind of Cam battling his foot issues, and then Winston with his knee. But just some good time to rest and work on ourselves a little bit. Had a couple of good days of practice, and Friday just a little preparation for Pitt State and some shooting, and off we went. But it was a good time to have a nice week off and get our guys back focused on us a little bit.
Yeah, well, let's get into that a little bit. Pitt got you guys earlier this season at their place, but you guys had a chance to even the score at home yesterday afternoon. Let's check it out.
It was a good win. I think we're a total different basketball team than we were a month and a half, whenever that was, back in December, January. Yeah.
Thought we had fun out there, and that was pretty evident just the way we were playing. 23 assists on 35 made field goal attempts is pretty darn good.
Gave me a little bit of motivation. Last time to beat us the way they did, not be able to do anything about it, and for it to be such a big rivalry. Got to come out there, feel like I got to put my foot on them at all times.
We talked about it all season. It's not how you start out. As long as we're getting better and better each game, which we're doing, we'll be where we want to be at the end of the year.
With the win, 93-74. Now, this was probably one of the best all-around performances the team has put on this season. What do you think contributed to that?
Well, yeah, the day before Friday, just kind of talked to our guys, and I think they, like I said in the interview afterwards, I think they understand kind of where our position, where we're at, and what we're fighting for. And our big thing was, once we started the Missouri Western Northwest trip, was kind of a redemption tour, I guess you could say, because losing against Missouri Western, lose against Northwest, lose against Pitt, lose against Washburn. So those games are important to us to get those back, and especially the last week Missouri Western win was big. I knew Northwest would be kind of tough going to their place. I thought we played well, competed, but this was a really big one for us just because Pitt was nipping at our heels, and there's a couple other teams nipping at our heels to trying to get that third place win. So it was important that we got that, and so our guys understood, but I think they responded the right way. They went out and played free. They played relaxed. I thought they played disciplined, but went out there and had fun and just kind of free flowing. And like I said after the game, I thought the guys just had fun, and our defense was really good. I think we held them under to 40% field goal percentage and did some really good things there as well. So I was just proud of the way our guys fought, competed, and then just played together as a team. I thought was really special.
Yeah, and you talked about kind of being aware of the situation you're in. How do you find that balance between, okay, this is a situation, but we don't want it to kind of hang over our heads and make the guys feel like, kind of like there's a lot of pressure?
Yeah, sometimes assistants have a little bit more in than head coach does as far as what the players are talking about and stuff like that. So I asked Warren the other day. Coach Niles asked him, do they know? He said, yeah, they know. So, I told them, they're adults, they're mature, and you got to handle it like a grown adult, and go out there and do what you've done your whole life. Go out there and play basketball and have fun.
Yeah, I know you mentioned earlier Cam obviously coming off of that injury at Northwest. Now, was this game kind of a test to see where he was at or if he had any limitations?
No, it necessarily wasn't a test. It was we just had to play him, and we didn't post up as much. We played out more on the perimeter, and I thought it really opened up some things for our guys to be able to drive the basketball. With him being out on the perimeter and the way he shoots it on the perimeter, they got to stay out there with them, and could put guys like Yagi and Bundy and RJ ability to post up, get them down into the paint, and ability to finish around the basket, and then it opened up some penetration lanes for Stan and for Winston to get to the basket, and it was just one of those where we need him down the stretch, and he's going to have to play through a little bit of pain, and just try to manage it as much as we can.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at some of the stats from that game. Cam coming in with 25 points and 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Winston also a pretty big game from him, 21 points, 7 assists, and of course Lawson with 16, 5 for 11 from 3. Now, what would you say was different this time around when you guys played Pitt?
Well, I think just the fact that we had Winston, that we had Bundy, those two guys right there. The first time we played them, I started two freshmen, Kieran and Avery. Nothing against them, but I just didn't think, looking back and hindsight's 2020, but probably weren't ready for that stage. And just still trying to juggle and figure out best positions for people, and with the suddenty of Winston going down and Bundy going down, it kind of put us in a situation where we had to figure something out quick, and we flunked the test. So us as coaches, we flunked the test. Our players went out and played hard, but we just we didn't play the way we were capable of playing, and totally different team than what we were playing at the beginning of January. Right now, I think we're playing with a lot more confidence. Guys understand the roles a little bit better, and then, when we switched after the Washburn game, we switched our lineup. We just went bigger, stronger, more mature, more experience, and I think that helped our team out quite a bit.
Yeah, well, it's always good when you can get a win over your rival. Well, coming up on the other side of the break, with Senior Day just around the corner, we'll talk about this year's seniors and reflect on the impact they had on the program. Stay with us.
I really don't know how to feel. It's kind of don't want it to end. That's what I'm feeling. Just want to keep playing and keep going as long as we can go.
Welcome back to the Lions Den. We're still joined by Coach Boschee. Now, it feels like just yesterday you guys started the season, and now you're already getting ready to wrap up the regular season. Now, does it feel like it's gone by quicker or about the same as other seasons?
Well, it feels like it's gone by a little quicker, and the first 2 weekends I wasn't a part of it and missed out on the 2 road trips. So, really my first road trip was after the Christmas break. So it seems like it's gone by pretty quick. We had that big gap in there for 5 weeks. I think we played 2 games, and that was kind of a struggle. But it's kind of like at the end of every season. It's while you're in the midst of the season, it feels like it's kind of going slow. But when you get to the end, you're like, man, that flew by.
Yeah.
So it's always sad the ending time of the year, but you look back and some of the things that our team has accomplished and overcome has been pretty special.
Yeah, well, since we only had one game to get into this week, we thought it'd be a good time to shine a little spotlight on this year's seniors, so let's check it out.
This is probably one of the best teams I played on, just basketball-wise, having fun. Just if I'm having a bad day, somebody on the team is going to bring me up, and I just love being around each and everybody, coaches, teammates, everybody. So I love that.
Just good guys, good leaders. Just trying to show the way for our younger guys, a lot of younger guys that we have. So just being leaders, really.
The one memory that I'll never forget this was as my first year here. We just finished conditioning. We have a 3.5-week program, and it's pretty brutal. The coaches get after us, and we finished it. It's a Friday. We were supposed to be off that day, and the coaches text us and say, "Everybody get in the gym, bring your conditioning clothes." And so all day we're texting each other in our group chat, who missed class, who did, all blaming each other for stuff. We get up in the gym, Coach Boschee splits us up in our running groups, puts half on one end, the other half on the other, and then he comes out with dodgeballs. Then we play dodgeball. So we all panicked all day for just to have some dodgeball, have some fun.
Well, a cruel trick you had to play on them. It's never good when coach says, get your running shoes, but it turns out to be they had a fun time. Well, let's kind of go through each one here. RJ was a new addition to the team this year, and it took him some time to find his footing, but eventually turned into a good role player for you guys.
Well, he did, and I think one thing with RJ is just his energy. Sometimes he says some crazy things on the floor, but whatever he's got to do to get himself going and get our team going, I love that. I thought one game that really stuck out in particular was at Missouri Western last week. I thought he was really good at just, not necessarily doing things on the court as far as offense or defense, but just his energy alone, the way he got our guys going in warm-ups. Once we made our runs in the Missouri Western game, keeping our guys energized in the timeouts and coming over to the bench and things like that. But he's brought a big energy lift to our team, and he's a good kid. I think any any basketball player, any kid playing sports always wants more. Obviously, he probably would like to score more, have more accolades and things like that. But he's a great kid, and all he cares about is winning. And he's slowly kind of found his way and his role and niche in this team over the year.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about Stan now. He seems like a very quiet, mild-mannered guy, but when he gets out on the floor, he has some really explosive moments.
Yeah, he's last year was kind of tough, the situation of him coming in, and he just kind of struggled to try to find his niche, and then with us having the seniors that we had last year, it's hard for him to get a lot of playing time, and sometimes when you're a bench guy, you got a little bit shorter leash than the starters do, and never felt like he was really confident. And then this year, the first game when I was watching from home at UCO, and just really surprised at the way he played. I think he came off the bench and had 14 or 15 points or something like that, and just played really good defense. And my confidence in him really started to grow, just seeing that. And he's slowly improved, and he's still got so much more to give and so much more to understand about the game that I think his career may not be over, and hopefully he can keep on playing, and never know, these guys may be back next year.
Yeah, well, last but not least, we got to talk about Cam. I mean, how much would you say he's meant to this program?
I mean, everything. I mean, he's and I don't know, Coach Korn will probably have to attest to this too, but probably one of the most dominant players to ever come through Missouri Southern, just with the ability to play inside, his ability to play outside, good kid, good leader, do anything that you ask him to do. And, he's a once, I was said after we had Tavon Prince my first 2 years, he left, we had CJ Carr. Those two guys left. You think of those guys as once in a lifetime type players. And then Cam comes along and, blows them out of the water. So hopefully we can keep him around for one more year, but I highly doubt that.
Well, any final thoughts real quick on the senior class as a whole?
I think, at the end of last year, just, it was hard on, Stan and Cam with us having to end the season abruptly, and RJ the same thing at Sam Houston State, and then, this year getting games cut short. That's kind of a tough situation to be in, but they stay positive throughout it, and they've been an impact on Missouri Southern. They really did a great job this year of taking in a lot of new guys, a lot of the young guys, and building our team and keeping our team positive and upbeat and continue winning ways.
Absolutely. Well, coming up on the other side of the break, I'll be joined by women's head coach Ronnie Ressel to talk about their seniors and break down their matchup against Pitt State. Stay with us.
We've not had a game where everyone just plays well, and I think that's what it's going to take to win these next two games to fight for the postseason. Everyone's got to show up to play, and everyone's got to do their part.
Welcome back to the Lions Den. I'm now joined by head women's basketball coach Ronnie Russell. Coach, thanks for joining me. Well, heading into this past week, you guys kind of went into it knowing that your last three were going to be must-win games. What was your message to your team going into this week?
Well, we look at the conference standings. We're tied with Northwest right now. Of course, with our two losses to them, they got the tiebreaker over us. So it's going to be important that we find a way to win a couple games, especially at home. And we had a good week of practice. I thought we had our intensity and our focus was really good throughout the whole week. We worked on some things offensively. I thought we shored some things up there. And then, of course, defensively, you always concentrate and trying to get better defensively. But we struggled on Saturday against Pitt, that was for sure.
Yeah, well, let's get into yesterday's game against Pitt. You guys almost won at their place last time you played, but things weren't so close this time around. Let's take a look.
We seemed really slow out there today. They got downhill and give Pitt a lot of credit. They got downhill quick and they finished plays around the basket on the offensive end. And then their defense I thought was really good, especially that first half. In that second quarter, they took us out of a lot of things.
It felt pretty good. I mean, I still would have wished we would have won, but I mean, it's nice to start getting into the flow of the games now that I'm playing a little more, and it's nice to know that I can help my team out where I can.
Ideally, if we almost probably had 2 wins to assure ourselves getting in the postseason as that 8th seed. And it's going to be a big challenge. Washburn's playing extremely well right now, and Central Oak is a very good team, and they're playing extremely well. So it's going to be a big challenge that we're going to have to on Monday watch some film and get back on the court and work on some things and correct some things, especially on the defensive end.
Well, Pitt got the win 78-60. Maya Johns led the team with 14 points, followed by Carly Turnbull with 13 and Haley Grant with 12. Now, this one got out of hand relatively quickly, down 26 at halftime. How much does your approach change in those circumstances? Do you go for a more aggressive, gotta score by all means necessary approach when you're down that much to try and claw back?
No, I don't think you've got to get, because you're not going to score 26 points in the first 3 minutes. So I think it's an aspect that we talked about. We've got to make sure we execute on the offensive end. We take good shots, and if we take good shots, we're going to make shots. And then on the defensive end, we had to be much better. Like I said, they got downhill, got to the basket anytime they wanted to in that first half, and that was a frustrating thing. And so we had to make sure on the defensive end we got stops. I mean, you get stops and you got to get scores, and you try to slowly get back in. Of course, they started off quick in the start of the third quarter, and I think we was down 30 at one point. But we did a better job from then on defensively, and then offensively started making some shots, which anytime you can make shots, it helps a lot on the defensive end as well. So. But it was frustrating. Like I said, give a lot of credit to Pitt. They played extremely well. They're fighting for the highest seed that they can get. If they can get up to that 4th spot, I don't know if they can or not. But have a home game. That's huge for them. So, but it was frustrating.
Yeah, but the team certainly did show signs of life, and there were some bright spots, like Haley having a really good game, and Maya also did some good stuff late in the game. Yeah,
we did, and that was a credit to our kids. They kept fighting throughout the whole game. They continued to push, and we had I want to say we got it to 16 at one point and had the ball. Missed a shot, they come down, hit 3 and pushed it back to 19, I think. But it's just one of those that we got to continue. They continued to work and fight, and like I said, Haley had a great game. I think her future is extremely bright if she continues to play with that type of intensity. You saw the 6 rebounds, and she went and got a couple of them. That was pretty impressive, and just showing her athleticism. And then Amaya, it was good to see Amaya make shots. She had been struggling as far as making shots, so it was good to see that. I thought Maddie had a solid game for herself, and then Carly as well. But like Haley said, we got to have everybody on the same page for the whole 40 minutes for us to be successful.
Yeah, well, let's transition now to talk a little bit about your group of seniors. You had 4 of them, so let's take a look at what they had to say.
Like the fun that we have, either on the court or off the court. That's really what it's about. And like the road trips and stuff, we have fun, and that's what's important to me. That's what I remember the most.
I feel like every game is a memory with them, regardless, win or lose. We still gonna be a team regardless, and they just keep me on my feet.
This year is something I'm not going to forget. I've learned a ton about what I'll be like as a coach in the future, and just having that experience coming here and being able to make an impact on my younger teammates and just all being able to learn together. It's been really fun.
It's definitely gone by fast this year, but another thing is bittersweet. I mean, I've been preached my whole life to play every game like it's your last, and you don't ever think it's going to be your last. And then now as a senior, like, who knows when the last game's going to be.
Each one of those players have been an integral part of the team this season. What has been your favorite part about coaching this group of seniors?
Well, of course, Brooke and Zoe's been with for 4 years, Megan for 2. With those 3 there, their response as far as on the day, every day in practice, they understand what it takes. They understand my expectations of them, and they've done everything that I've been asking for. Carly being her first year, she's had a very good year for us, been a very good leader for us as far as how to play in the work ethic, weight room, on the floor, classroom, and every aspect. So all 4 of them have got a special place in my heart.
Yeah, and a lot of them mentioned in the interviews that they wanted to do their part to kind of mentor the younger players. How important is it for your senior leaders to have that mentality?
It's huge, because that's where the freshmen are going to learn. They're going to learn more from how their work ethic, what it takes to compete at this level day in and day out. And I think our 4 seniors did a great job of teaching our young kids, our freshmen, what it means and how hard you got to work to be successful at this level.
Absolutely. Well, all certainly great players. Well, coming up on the other side of the break, we'll bring both coaches back to do a little blast from the past. We're going to take a look at their college days, so stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. Welcome back to the Lions Den. Well, as promised, we're going to travel back in time a little bit and take you both back to your college days, and we'll start with you, Coach Boschee, lucky number 1. Shout out to the Lawrence Journal-World for providing these awesome pictures of you during your time at KU. What do you remember the most about your senior year?
Well, that's a foul. My senior year, just a lot of fun, obviously. Just we went first team ever to go 16-0 in the Big 12. Made a run at the Final Four. Just a unbelievable season that really I felt like our semifinal game in Atlanta against Maryland I thought really was the national championship game. I think Maryland went on to play Indiana, beat them pretty good in the championship game, but it was your college days are just something, and people, now you think about the seniors that possibly get their year back for a COVID senior year or whatever it may be. I mean, I would have died for another extra year of college, staying out of the real world, staying out of having to pay bills, and just living the college life. I wish I could have got a 5th year to play basketball, but my senior year was a lot of fun, and it's a great bunch of guys, and we accomplished a lot of things.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Russell, now it's your turn. I did some digging through the Missouri Southern archives, and I came across the school yearbooks. Always come in handy, and that's where I found these cool images. Any fond memories of your senior year?
Oh, yeah. Well, my first year here was my junior year, and it's Coach Korn's first year when he was as a head coach. And the things I remember, just those teammates. Had so much fun with those guys, especially my senior year. And, we just joined Division II in '89, and then that was the first year in the MIAA. And of course, I'm from Southeast Missouri, where SEMO, they were Division II at the time. So I grew up watching Division II basketball in the MIAA. So it was a lot of fun. My senior year, like I said, the memories of with Coach Korn, the intensity that he coached with, the teammates we had, the enjoyment we had. We took a trip to, I think it was Bahamas, my senior year, so we had a lot of fun. And like Coach said, if anytime you could have got an extra year, stay out of the real world and play, it would be awesome to be able to do that. But I had a lot of great memories, a bunch of my teammates then that I still talk to and talk about, reminisce about some of the things we did. Thank God social media was not around then. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, real quick before you guys get out of here, what are going to be some keys to victory in Thursday's matchup against Washburn?
Well, I think with Washburn, just keep reminding our guys how bad we got our tails kicked at their place, and hopefully that inspires a little bit of motivation for them. We just kind of like we talked about the Pitt State game. Started 2 true freshmen, and it was really a game that I felt our guys kind of felt sorry for themselves, and it was embarrassing. And I think the biggest thing is we just got to compete and understand and know that we can compete with them and just continue what we've been doing. I think if we continue what we've been doing, I think we'll be fine.
Absolutely. Coach Russell, how about you?
The same thing. We got to make sure that defensively we guard and then we execute offensively. Washburn's playing extremely well defensively. They're guarding the heck out of people. So we got to make sure we execute, get good shots, make shots to be able to come away with a victory.
Absolutely. Well, that'll do it for us here in the Lions Den. You can follow our coverage of Missouri Southern basketball right here on KSN or on our website at 4stateshomepage.com. Thanks to Coach Boschee and Coach Ressel for joining me today. I'm Reina Garcia, and we'll see you right back here next weekend.
This has been the Lions Den. For more MSSU basketball, go to 4stateshomepage.com or follow us on Facebook.